we're hard at it. The Supreme Court case has been docketed. It's number 24-430 for people looking at it. They can find it. We're calling it the Justice Secured Writ, but you can find it in Re Gregory Stenstrom. There's 23 defendants, 23 petitioners. Of course, Leah's on there. John Marietta, the hillbilly from Fayette County, he's on there amongst others. But there's a lot of familiar names there. And what that case asked for is it asked the Supreme Court to order the DOJ to do their jobs, to investigate election fraud before certification, so the courts can act appropriately in determining whether they should certify or not certify the vote.
Well, you were very specific in going for that policy, because you and Leah submitted a wealth of evidence to the bar DOJ back in 2020, and they refused to investigate. And you have all the FOIA requests with documents showing that they knew exactly what was going on and that they were aware of what you had sent to them at the Bar Department of Justice. There are a lot of lawsuits out there. Mark Elias had this to say in the last 24 hours on TV about the different lawsuits that are being brought by Republicans or just independents and conservatives like you and Leah. Take a listen.
In the election context, we know he has used it to try to further a false narrative, the big lie, that serves as a permission structure for him and his supporters to deny the reality that he lost in 2020 and that he will almost certainly lose the popular vote and probably the election in 2024. So the way he deals with this is he has his lawyers file a bunch of lawsuits, but we have to be clear, those lawsuits are not succeeding. Just today, the RNC lost a big case in Pennsylvania. Yesterday, they lost one in Georgia. But the day before that, they lost one in Michigan. They have lost one in North Carolina. Their conservative allies lost one today in Wisconsin. They lost one at the end of last week in Nevada. I could go on and on and on. So the fact that they're filing these lawsuits is meant to create, like I said, a structure for him to have an excuse for why he loses. But it doesn't mean the courts are not protecting voters. And certainly Democrats and progressive organizations are out there fighting every day to make sure that's true.
It is true that there have been some failures in the court. You know, there was some dismissed this week, but I've watched them all day and yesterday, and it seems to me that they are a bit nervous. Mark Elias and MSNBC and some of these liberal-leaning outlets and their pundits are a bit worried about the lawsuits that are out there, that they could be effective.
I think so. One of the things that we've been doing for the past 4 years, we looked forward from 2020. You know, the cases from 2020 and 2022 have been delayed in the courts for 3 and 4 years. Their strategy is not to hear any of the cases they can't win. And in the case of that Pennsylvania case, the RNC, they didn't actually, I wouldn't call that losing. The ACLU and the League of Women Voters filed a case that they wanted people to be able to fill out, they wanted to count ballots without names in them and signatures and dates. Of course, that was a non-starter. In the RNC case, I don't even recall what it was for, but the ruling of the court, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, was very curious. It's a partisan court. It's a highly politicized court, a left-leaning court. And what they ruled was, curiously, it's too late to do anything about the 2024 election. So the reason I'm kind of rolling my eyes, this is too late. We've got 2 weeks. The whole purpose of bringing these cases to the Commonwealth and the Pennsylvania Supreme Court is to get rulings, on situations that will impact the 2024 election. So their ruling wasn't that the RNC lost or that even the ACLU and Women's League of Voters lost. Their ruling was, it's all too late for this. And we tend to disagree. The federal cases are going to be the proof in the pudding, and the SCOTUS case is going to be the proof in the pudding. So, I wanted to go back real quickly to the SURE database. One of the things that's curious about that is we have a statewide effort right now where we're checking mail-in ballot applications, and we're checking to make sure that the people are residents and that they're qualified electors. And we're also checking that they're in the SURE database. And just today, while the SURE database was up, We get daily reports of mail-in ballots. We found 200 just in our county mail-in ballot applicants that were on the SURE database. This is happening throughout the state. Chester County, we've got people checking Montgomery, Fayette, Westmoreland, Washington County. So we have people all over the state checking these mail-in ballot applications, and there's a very, very big disparity between people who are being sent mail-in ballots and people who are actually on the voter rolls. So a little bit suspicious that we've been filing these letters every day. We informed our county that there was 200 people that had been approved for mail-in ballots that weren't even on the voter registration database. So in my opinion, the timing is suspect on that.